Hello and welcome back, everybody, but probably nobody. This is ThorW, and in our last episode, through Dark Souls 3, we defeated the Dragon Slayer armor, and saw that there was an area to head towards after it, but before we do, I want to come up here to the rooftops, because it is finally time to visit the crows again. Me. Pickle pea, pump-a-rum, blah blah blah. Okay, so, using our handy-dandy online chart that we have, that anyone has access to, we're going to go ahead and, first of all, drop a seed of a giant tree.
Pump-a-rum,
Pump-a-rum.
pump-a-rum, pump-a-rum.
Beautiful. And for that, we get the iron leggings. Next up, we're going to drop a lightning urn. Just one. Just one.
Pump-a-rum, pump-a-rum, pump-a-rum.
Pump-a-rum, pump-a-rum. There we go. Iron helm. Let's see, what's next? I believe we've dropped a homeward bone once already for the iron bracelets. The Siegbrow. Which I've already done. And with that, I do believe we are actually able to fully cosplay Solaire of Astora. So the iron helm, the armor of the sun, the iron bracelets, and finally the iron leggings. There they are. Which, let's go ahead and, Helm with a red feather is said to have belonged to a knight of sunlight in a previous age. The Hume has no particular powers, but is of a fine quality and appears to have been looked after with the greatest of cares. So, yes, the choice attire of a singular knight of sunlight from a previous age. The symbol was painted by the knight himself, but the armor never bore any special power. We can now look like Knight Solaire. Oh, wait, I think I don't have his, do I happen to have his shield? I think I need his shield. Right, there is the shield. Let's go ahead and, not there. There we go. The Mendicant Staff, which is one of these. There it is. That I farmed so darn hard for in the, there we go. I farmed so darn hard for in the Archdragon Peak. Will give us the Sunlight Shield. Let's go ahead and equip that as well. Yes, a large circular shield made of metal and decorated with a holy symbol depicting the sun. This shield was used by the old Knight of Sunlight, and the illustration is his own. Regardless, it has no particular divine powers with the parry skill. And now we can look like Solaire. In fact, let's make it complete. Let's equip the Sunlight Straight Sword. We are now Solaire of Astora. I cannot use the Sunlight Straight Sword properly, even if I tried to. I can point towards the sun at the very least. So yeah, those are all the items. Shut up, Crow. Those are all the items that you need to look like Solaire of Astora if you want to look like a big nerd. And I think we'll... I'm going to switch my shield back to the Shield of Want. Just because it is a better shield. Crud. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh no, I lost it somewhere. There, oh, there we go. See, it has slightly worse lightning resistance, but better everything else. So, we will keep that. And look, we're not even at 70%, so I can still decent roll. It's not quite a fast roll, not quite a slow roll. It's a good middle ground. So let's look like a big nerd. Because, in case you're wondering, Solaire of Astora, while a pretty cool guy, was also a huge nerd. I mean, look at this. He took all the time to paint that cute little sun onto his gear because he loved the sunlight. And for anyone that didn't play Dark Souls 1 and doesn't know about Slayer of Astora all that much, he was basically a huge fan of Gwyn, like the biggest fanboy in the world. Just wanted to have Gwyn's babies, but was not able to as Gwyn burnt himself up. So he went on a quest to find his own son, basically find his own meaning to life. And he accompanies the chosen undead through Dark Souls 1 through most of, if not the entire journey, depending on a couple of branches in his side quests that are available. Where either you can have a very tragic ending for him or a very tragic ending for him. Turns out Dark Souls is really about tragedy.
You know,
Speaking of which...
about leaving for another round of thieving. There must be something of use in Lothric Castle. I'm aware of the danger. That castle is a death trap. Not a single man has returned from the castle unscathed, even back in the day. But I don't want to sit around and die a petty rat. And I consider myself your friend.
Grey Rat wants to go pillage Lothric Castle. He doesn't want to sit around just dying as a petty rat. He wants to go fulfill his purpose in life, which is to help others out by stealing from those who do not need it.
Thank you for placing your trust in me. Don't you worry. I know Lothric like the back of my hand. Don't you worry. I know Lothric like the back of my hand.
Well, good luck, Grey Rat. If you do decide to send him pillaging, be sure to buy whatever you want from him before doing so, as he will be gone for a while pillaging. I have a thief mask, right? I have 2 thief masks now if I did.
Goodbye.
Well, good luck, Grey Rat. I wish you the best. Oh, by the way, while I'm here, since I have some Titanite slabs available, and it's quite clear that I want to keep using this weapon, let's go ahead and just max it out. Plus 5. Plus 5 Black Knight Greatsword, stat-wise, B strength scaling, D dexterity scaling, and my physical attack power is 322 plus 255 right now. That's pretty nice. That's not bad at all. And with that, let's continue our actual journey through Dark Souls 3. We've tied up a couple of loose ends by finishing up this the sunlight armor set here. I just thought you guys might want to know what particular items to throw at the crow to get that full set for anyone that wants to look like Solaire. Because, you know, Solaire is everyone's favorite meme from Dark Souls 1. Everyone's favorite meme. Praise the sun, etc. So, let's begin by wandering around this area down here. I don't think there's much down here. Nope, doesn't look like it. So, as we enter, we get the statue depicting a king, and a statue depicting what looks like a robed cleric of some sort, possibly a sage, possibly even the queen. Considering it is opposite of the king here. And of course, once again, we get our winged serpent friend, who I still am very convinced that this is just a statue depicting Framps. You'll notice there are no arms whatsoever, it just kind of comes up. Now it kind of looks like there might be legs there, but at the same time that could just be the curvature of his giant neck thing. And the face is just Framps. Now sure, it's not to scale, it's not the same size or anything, but hey. Anyway, look at that bonfire. You see that bonfire? Here's this bonfire. What a necessary bonfire this is, considering that bonfire exists. Right there. Right, okay, yeah, anyway. We're gonna get a new weapon, and the Grand Archives key, along with the Goddard twin swords. This is Blackhand Goddard, or whatever his name was. He is now deed. He is deed! Let's look at his twin swords. The hunters known as the King's Black Hands wielded paired weapons. These belonged to Goddard, who fled the castle. Goddard rose quickly through the knighthood, no surprise to those who have witnessed his swordsmanship, with the skill of spin slash, slicing foes in a large spinning motion. Use a strong attack to lengthen the attack and end with a double-bladed thrust. So, yeah, if you liked his weapons, if you liked his weapon set, you can now use them for yourself. In addition, we got the Grand Archives key, which is the most ornate key of them all. Key to the main entrance to the Grand Archives of Lothric. With the fire fading and the spreading pus of man tainting the castle, the Grand Archives closed its doors for good. Today, only a few of its keys remain. This one likely belonged to Goddard, one of the King's Black Hands, who fled the castle. So, this talks about the spreading pus of man tainting the castle. If you recall, there were quite a few enemies, hollow or otherwise, that burst into those giant black snake things. Those are the pus of man that are invading and infecting the castle. Okay, here's the statues. Look at this. Look at this statue. This is very interesting. So, this is the king with feathers and wings growing out of his back, holding a torch. That is this depiction. Now, if you recall, in the Cathedral of the Deep we had a relatively similar statue, only it was more gargoyle-like. If anything, that might be the depiction of the king prior to becoming crazy and being consumed by the thought of being a big dragon-y Seath. So immediately upon entering the Grand Archives, this is the other Crystal Sage that we read about from the soul of the first Crystal Sage. This is the other twin. Now you can tell that this twin is weaker than the Crystal Sage we've already fought because this one's magic is completely blue. It is not making any duplicates of itself, and it doesn't have its own boss bar. So, this is the weaker of the two twins, but it is our nice welcoming guest here in the Grand Archives. Over here, we've got a thrall just kind of hanging. Oh, you lived? Wow. Lived. Weird. And he was guarding a Titanite chunk. Him and his friend. Oh, hi. Hi there. You're dead. So, as for the Crystal Sage that disappeared, don't think that she is gone for good or anything like that. She is now up there, casting spells upon us from above. As you may be able to hear. I would not underestimate the damage that those spells can do either. They can be quite troublesome. So, Crystal Gem, Twinkling Titanite, Lizard over here. I like that image. You can barely see that guy walking by. And you're like, wait, what was that? But first, I'm going to come over here. Hi. Forgot about that thrall. Soul of a Crestfallen Knight. It's a nice little pop for some souls if you want some. Once you pop, fun don't stop. Titanite chunks. Yeah. Oh, hi. So yeah, there's going to be several thralls around the place. Ambushing. I like the look here. So, over here we can see a congregation of gentlemen. We'll speak with them in a sec. Oh look, ready? Spawn in. Spawn in. Despawn? Spawn in. Despawn? Spawn in. You can tell you're spawning in because it's on the stairs and it just kind of drops into the world. Which is hilarious. Okay, so we're coming over here specifically to talk with this gentleman. Hi. Wow, I just bounced right off that shield. Gotcha. So, this guy used crystal magic to create a crystal spear, as you can see, which does a fair bit of bonus damage. Wow, that's unfortunate. Wow. A fair bit of bonus damage. That's real unfortunate. That's a little surprising. That's a little surprising. I'm going to advise against using big heavy weapons like I am for anyone that's going through the game. I'm using them because, well, they're fun for me. But if you guys are looking for an easier time of walking through through this particular area, by the way, this guy's back to full health because we died, and she acts as a normal enemy. But if you're going for just a normal, casual little playthrough, using a big, heavy weapon like that, especially against these Lothric knights, is just ill-advised. They are so very capable of murdering you in 3 hits, as you saw. Hi, you. You're not going over there this time. Your face is a mess. Either you had a really good time or a really bad time. I'm gonna go with really good. Seem like those kind of people. Alright. Come here, big man. Let's try this again. There we go. That's what I wanted the first time. And now, we backstab you because you decided to disrespect me and buff right in my face. There we go. Large Titanite shard. How useful? Not really. I mean, I could sell a bunch, I guess. And that guy was protecting the crystal chime. And if you look in this area, it looks very similar to the little side path that you took in Dark Souls 1, where Logan kind of went mad studying Seath's information. So let's look at the crystal chime. A sacred chime, once the possession of Gertrude the Heavenly Daughter and defiled by the scholars of the Grand Archives. The power of crystals granted the scholars a degree of success. In this case, their work enabled this chime to be suitable for casting both miracles and sorceries. So it is even scaling in both faith and intelligence. It's good at miracle and sorcery casting, as it said. And now we can pick up this Titanite chunk over here. And it's a good middle ground kind of chime for anyone that wants to use both miracles and sorceries in their arsenal. So these scholars here are over here for a very good reason. All that crap on their face is whoop. Let's pop a coin so I can farm whatever item you might drop. I think is just the candlestick. Anyway, all that crap on their face is wax, and you notice it was lit on fire. They are candle heads. Now, why do they have wax on their heads? That's a very good question. We will find the answer to that in the next room. Run up there for a Titanite scale. Let's go over here and see exactly why they have wax on their heads. So we come into this innocent-looking little library area. Look how innocent it is. There's absolutely nothing bad going on over here. No siree. Nothing bad will happen over here. Let's see, is it... Let's kill this one. No, come back. And it runs over here to these grabby handbooks. Now, that didn't really demonstrate exactly what the grabby handbooks do quite yet. So let's run over to some more grabby handbooks. Right here. They do damage and build up purse if you go near these grabby handbooks, and they're kind of common in this area considering it's a library. So this statue is actually depicting someone covered in wax, and that's what we saw on our way here. This is some wax to dunk our head in. I would highly suggest that anyone going through this area become a candlehead. Beautiful. Because when you have wax on your head, and I'm not sure how this works, but you can walk right up to the books, and the hands come out, but they don't do anything to you. It's weird. I know. I'm aware that it's very weird. Okay, now there is a lever in this room somewhere, but it's so dark. It's so darn dark. It might be over here. Up there it is. There it is. There is a lever next to the staircase. And when we pull it, a little side chute opens over here, where we get a chest with the witch's locks and the power within pyromancy. I'm not sure why they're here, but let's take a look. So power within Right here. Temporarily boost attack but gradually lose HP. Forbidden pyromancy amongst those who internalize flame. Temporarily boost attack, gradually lose HP. A pyromancer fears the flame. However, this fear subsides once it is accepted as a substitute for strength. This is the exact same description as Dark Souls 1. Well done, guys. And now the Witch's Locks, right over here. A whip fashioned from the black hair of a daughter of the Witch of Izalith, creator of the Flame of Chaos. The long shining locks woven together to create this whip are imbued with the essence of fire, which can be channeled through the use of its skill. Skill Flame Whip. Temporarily coat the whip in fire, the self-same fire as that which consumed the witch herself. It is said. It costs 12 int and 12 faith to be able to wield, and is primarily a dexterity weapon. But this is basically just a fire whip, if you want it, made of the locks of a Daughter of Chaos. Now, which Daughter of Chaos is kind of debatable. I mean, it could be from Quelaag, the big spider girl, or it could have been from Quelana. It could have been from several different Daughters of Chaos, but it's kind of hard to tell which one. So let's dunk our head in wax again, just so that we... the wax does wear off over time. It won't stay with you forever or anything like that. That's why I reapplied the wax to my head. I kind of want to keep having wax on my head for a little while we're going through the Grand Archives here. Hi there. I mean, that's a great setup if I don't have wax on my head, but... I mean, there's a big vat of it right over there. Get wrecked. Candle-heady bitch. Oh, crap. Crystal Lizard. Wrecked! Got him. Awesome. Twinkling Titanite, oh yeah. I'll come over here and grab a Titanite chunk. Oh, see, look, the wax has disappeared from our head already. Let's come over here and let's kick this ladder down. This is now a shortcut. That is where the Crystal Sage was standing. We can just climb up here now if we want to. As you can see, the Crystal Sage is right over there. How lovely. Just to be sure that I kill her on this go, I'm going to equip the Barbed Straight Sword. Because I can get many an attack in with the Barbed Straight Sword. Now then, we want to come up here. Careful of this dude. The Wax Head. Oh! And the Thrall. There's two Thralls. Okay. Well, the Thralls are going to be annoying, so let's deal with them first. See? Annoying. One more Thrall. Where are you? There you are. Of course. Alright, there we go. How lovely. Oh, she threw wax at us. So when wax is thrown on you, this is interesting. When wax is thrown on you, you roll a little slower. Let's see if we can get hit better by the wax. There we go. Now we can't run, we can't dodge or anything like that. We're way slower. It's like we're over encumbered. If we try to run, we try to roll, we can't move. We try to run, we have to wait for it to wear off. Getting coated in wax all over yourself is rough, and you can tell when they're doing it because they raise the candle up and then sploosh wax. Now then, Crystal Sage. Wow. That's actually surprising. So, one thing that this Crystal Sage never does, at least I've never seen this Crystal Sage do it, is never cast Homing Soul Mass. Yeah, I'm just kind of walking around seeing if she'll do it or not, but it doesn't seem like it. Alright. I've had enough of your shenanigans. No more shenanigans! So I used the Barbed Straight Sword because I was gonna guarantee get a bleed on her. And that'll murder her for the Crystal Scroll! And we get some Scholar's Robes, nice. So yes, we get the Crystal Scroll for murdering the Crystal Sage, ow. Which we'll take a look at in a second. Ow. Yeah, you guys are being annoying. You guys are being rather annoying. Please stop. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay. So I want to check this side real quick. So I can come over here and kill you. Can you drop anything for me, sweetie? There you go. More scholar's robes covered in wax. And from here, we can do a simple drop right here and get a Titanite scale. Lovely. And that way, we just have another Titanite scale available. I like having more Titanite scales available. Now we'll check this side over here with the Thrall. Oh, he's going to throw something at me. So if you need to dunk your head in wax again, here's some more wax for you guys. They're actually relatively good about spacing the wax out. Let's go ahead and become a member of the Waxhead crew. Yeah. I like how you can see just little basic features of the face, like where the eyes and the nose and the mouth go. Even though I'm wearing a helmet, and that makes absolutely no sense. I should only see the outer contours of the helmet. I should not be able to tell that I have a face at all. But whatever. Now we're gonna pull that lever. What the hell does that lever do? I completely forget what that lever does. Maybe it's something downstairs. Or maybe it's something right up here. No, I think it's definitely something downstairs. Well, whatever. We pulled the lever. We did it. We're the best. An alternative method for getting up to where the Crystal Sage was would be to climb up that. Whoops, I almost forgot that I can grab the Homeward Bones there. 3 Homeward Bones for anyone wondering if they wondering how to get more Homeward Bones without paying for them. That is how. Oh, cool. There's more swag over here. More scholar robes. Ow. Ow, again. Little bastard. Little sumbitch. That hurt. It hurt more than just myself. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings. Well. So yeah, that crystal scroll is the last scroll we needed to give to Orbeck of Vinheim to complete giving him all the scrolls and all the magic that he could ever possibly want. Let's see. Oh, don't want to descend quite yet. There is the item right here. Titanite scales. More Titanite scales. I would advise never picking up Titanite scales because they are a finite resource. In this game, I'm pretty sure you cannot infinite farm them. Now then, I'm gonna go back to the barbed straight sword because this guy is, well, you know how hard this guy can be. I wonder if I can bleed him. Let's find out. Let's find out together, everyone. Let's find out together if we can bleed an Outrider Knight. Oh, I mistimed my roll there. I was late on it. Get him! Okay, cool. That is why I used the barbed straight sword. And we get the Outrider Knight set. We can finally look like the Outrider Knights if we want to. And he was actually in here guarding the Soulstream spell. Now, I know we've got a few things to look at. We'll look at them very shortly. The Outrider Knight set, the Soulstream spell, the Crystal Scroll. All very valid things to look at, but let's just put the kitty cat ring on. Meow. Meow. But before we do, there's just one thing I want to get out of the way. I believe it's right over here. I'm almost positive it is right over here. So we go down to that area and come up here, and there is a lift for us to ride. And this is going to be a shortcut for us, which is what I wanted to open up before we go back to Firelink Shrine. There's a lever to pull, and In case you were wondering if this was the Duke's Archives, there you go. It's basically the same idea. Pull a lever, move some bookcases out of the way, get yourself a shortcut, and we are now able to just go right back to the shrine anytime we want. We're just going to use the coiled sword fragment. Let's get out of here. By the way, if you guys want an extra Titanite slab, go ahead and drop the coiled sword fragment for the crows, and they will reward you with a Titanite slab. Now then, we got some stuff to look at. First off, let's look at the Crystal Scroll. Secret Crystal Scroll of the Grand Archives of Lothric. Give to a sorcerer to learn crystal sorceries. These sorceries are the work of the Pale Drake, Seath the Scaleless, whom Logan is said to have met, a branch of sorcery that has been carried on by the Crystal Sages. Not only did Logan meet him, but he went insane for doing so. Now, we also have soul streams somewhere around here. Somewhere. I don't know what the icon for it is. Oh, there we go. Sorcery imparted by the first of the scholars when Lothric and the Grand Archives were but young. Fires a torrential volley of souls. The first of the scholars doubted the linking of the fire and was alleged to be a private mentor to the royal prince. So this is interesting. So it's called the first of the scholars, and he doubted the linking of the fire. I think this is probably a reference to Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Probably that dude, who was not very fond of the linking of the fire and wanted to put the world in a different direction. It was apparently also the private mentor to Prince Lothric, who does not believe in the linking of the fire and refuses to fulfill his duty as a Lord of Cinder. It also takes 45 int to use. That's a lot. Now the Outrider Knight set. Let's see... There we go. Outrider Knight Helm. Armor of an Irithil Outrider Knight, enveloped in a dimly cool air. The knights were given the eyes of the pontiff, but the eyes transformed them into savage, raving warriors who only knew how to serve as mindless guards. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to say the same thing for all of them. Yes, it will. So I want to point out, when you look at the helm, that is the same helm style that Vort had. It's very similar to what the Dancer had, and it looks exactly like the helms that the Phantoms that walk through Irithil have. They are wearing the Outrider Knight set. Just food for thought. I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's switch back to our Black Knight Great Sword, yeah. See, the short swords only come out when I want to be overpowered and unstoppable. Otherwise, we use the fun swords. So let's talk with Orbeck.
Back again, I see. Perfect timing, too. I'm in need of a diversion.
Well, I've got the perfect diversion for you, bro. I've got the ultimate scroll.
Unfathomable. This is a crystal sorcery. Created by the Pale Dragon. Thought only to exist in legend. I am ever grateful to you. This is truly sublime. I am afraid this is a debt I cannot repay. Only, I will be sure to unravel it for you. Just a moment.
So yeah, you can see that Orbeck is extremely taken aback by the awe-inspiring magics of Seath. Seath. You're so big and manly. Notice how everyone just kisses Seath's ass. It's weird. So with that, we can get Homing Crystal Soul Mass. Sharpens Homing Soul Mass via crystallization. Releases a Homing Crystal Soul Mass, which has piercing qualities. According to the Crystal Sages, Old Big Hat achieved enlightenment with the Regal Archives, where he came to find the quintessence of sorcery in the facets of a certain crystal. Yeah, enlightenment. He was so enlightened he took off all his clothes, got into his loincloth with his hat, and ran around screaming, "I'm a dragon! I'm a dragon!" and breathing crystal breath at people. Crystal Soul Spear further sharpens Soul Spear via crystallization. Old Big Hat got enlightened in the Regal Archives again, and Crystal Magic Weapon, which is what that particular Lothric Knight was casting when he murdered us. After much experimentation, Logan found the Crystal Medium facilitated a stronger bond between weapon and soul. So yes, the magic, quote-unquote, that is kind of derived from Seath's level of magic is the magic of the soul, more than anything. which is why it works the way it does. Whereas the dark magics that people are so afraid of is magic deriving from the dark soul. And finally, the pyromancy is magic derived from the flame itself, which everyone has a bit of the flame inside of themselves, hence why we can be embered up. So then, let's go ahead and buy these final sorceries from Orbeck. We have now bought everything from him.
In Vinheim, I was an assassin, a sorcerer only in name, a killer for hire. What a fool I was, thinking one day I would learn real sorceries. When I became undead, I was exiled from the school. But here I am, now, exploring the depths of sorcery. All thanks to you, I might add. You are no ordinary man. All these sorceries, and you've mastered every one. If this were the Dragon School, you'd be, well, overtly despised and banished from the place. Well, I suppose it's time I pack my bags. I would hate to see our agreement end sourly. Better left, tucked away, as a pleasant memory.
So, this is why I like Orbeck. He has a bit of a character arc and a personality arc over the course of the game. So when you first meet him, he's just kind of surly towards you and sour towards the world in general. Mainly because of his outlook on life, the fact that life never really panned out for him. He wanted to become a sorcerer, but he was only really good at the sorceries meant for assassinations. Mainly stuff such as spook and hidden body, stuff like that. That was pretty much the stuff that he was excellent at. And when he became undead, the school cast him out because undead are people are pretty racist against the undead in the Dark Souls universe. So Orbeck starts off pretty surly, but as you bring him scrolls and as you learn sorceries together, and he teaches you what he can from them, and you start to master it, you start becoming really a friend to Orbeck. Orbeck starts seeing you more as someone that he really likes to study sorceries with and someone who he enjoys spending time with. And so Orbeck goes from being this really surly character to being, kind of still a surly character, but a surly character that enjoys your company and is more delighted to see you than despising. As long as you study sorceries with him, that is. And you don't even need to have a bunch of intelligence or anything, you just kind of have to study the sorceries.
You are no ordinary man.
And my favorite part...
All these sorceries, and you've mastered every... If this were the Dragon... Well...
You'd be overtly despised and banished if you were able
better left
to study everything.
Promise to stay safe. It's been nice running our own little school. Oh. What is it? Forgot something? Promise to... It's been...
And that's it. So now Orbeck says he's going to pack his bags and leave. Once you leave Firelink, Orbeck will leave to go on his own journey, and you will no longer have anything to do with Orbeck of Vinheim. But you did bring pretty much a ray of sunshine into his dark and surly life, where he was finally able to study real sorceries, which he's been hoping to do for his entire lifetime. So you, the Champion of Ash, have been a great friend to Orbeck of Vinheim, and by studying all these sorceries with him, you've learned that, well, the Dragon School is full of a bunch of dickwads that are jealous and angry about the world, especially those that are better than them at what they do. and at least you were able to bring some joy to someone for a short period of time before they decided to leave before some sort of rift comes between you. Generally, the fact that, hey, as far as Orbeck's concerned, you've learned pretty much every sorcery he could possibly teach you. This is any and all sorceries he's ever even heard of, let alone anything he could imagine. So, and in fact, we know things that he couldn't even imagine that he's never even heard of because we found them just in our journeys. So, Orbeck can't really run a school with you anymore because you've basically mastered so many sorceries. So he wants to leave it off on a good note, leave for himself, and stay friends. Despite not seeing each other, you will have a bond for good. And I like that. I like that Orbeck has a nice little character arc in that way. And it's subtle, and it's done pretty nicely. It's unfortunate that there's not a little bit more to it, but the fact that it is subtle and the fact that it happens is a really good point. And it actually harkens back to why I like Dark Souls 1 so much, because there were characters like that often. So, with that, we're going to end this episode off with a happy feeling in our heart, and the fact that we've made ourselves a lifelong friend. And even if he leaves Firelink for his own journey, we'll know that Orbeck has taught us a lot, and we made a great friend. So, thanks friends for coming on by to watch this episode of Dark Souls 3, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody!